Hey everybody, welcome to the Addiction Unlimited podcast, where you get to learn everything you want to know about addiction and recovery. I'm your host, Angela Pugh, co-founder of Kansas City Recovery, life coach, and recovering alcoholic. To learn more about me, you can listen to episode 0 on your podcast app or find us on the web at addictionunlimited.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the Addiction Unlimited podcast. I'm your host, Angela Pugh. I hope you are having a great week. There's been a lot of action around here. Addiction Unlimited is continuing to grow. I'm super excited about that. And I want to say thank you to all of you listening, and especially the members of our Facebook community, and to those of you who work with me in group coaching on Monday nights and individual coaching. You know, this podcast really has changed my life, and all the comments and testimonials and reviews I get from you are absolutely amazing. You guys are always telling me how much you love the pod and how much it helps you, and I so appreciate you, and I want you to know that I couldn't continue to do this if it wasn't for you guys. Every day I get to log into the Facebook group and see you connecting and supporting each other. And every comment I get on Instagram and the emails I get from you, these are the things that keep me going and fill my heart and let me know that we are doing good work together. I literally could not do this without the support of each and every one of you. So thank you. Thank you for your enthusiasm and for supporting me in my journey. And thank you for wanting to change your own life and live better. Like, I know this illness is so hard and confusing, and I know sometimes it feels overwhelming and you wonder if it's worth it or if you can even do it. And I know that because I had to do it too, and I felt all of those things too. So I'm just so impressed every day when you are brave enough to take another step and decide for another day that you want to fight this and do better. And remember, you get stronger every day you make that choice, and I'll fight with you every step of the way. I also want to give a quick shout out to April. April just signed up for the Platinum package to work individually with me. And the Platinum package is a big deal. It's intense. It is very hands-on. It's a full month of really good, strong support. We connect a lot. I mean, it's like if you wake up one day and you're struggling with something, or you've got a huge meeting or a big important appointment and you want to talk it through, you text me and we talk it through that day. You know, so the Platinum package is huge. And April, I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited to work with you. And I'm so proud of you for taking that step. Like, what a great way to really start your sobriety and be super serious about it from day one. I just love that. That's awesome. So that leads me to our topic today. One of the greatest changes that happened for me when I was growing up in sobriety was when I shifted from a victim mindset, right? A victim mindset is when you think the state of your life is controlled by outside people and things and circumstances. It's feeling like your life is beyond your control, and even feeling like maybe it's actually against you. And I was so like that, especially when I was newly sober. I mean, for most of my life, and certainly my drinking life, I definitely felt like life was kind of out to get me. Like it was just against me, you know, like I had worse circumstances than most people had, and different things to battle and go through that I felt like were a lot bigger than what other people might have to deal with. And I kind of felt like life hated me. You know, that's the truth. That's what I thought. And that's a really hard way to be, right? When you think that your life and your circumstances are controlled by outside things, this is what's referred to as an external locus of control, okay? You hear people all the time when something happens in life, like immediately their focus will shift to finding someone or something to blame. I drank because my job is so stressful, or because my spouse isn't supportive, or when you blame your job for not paying you enough and that's why you can't pay your bills, or blaming your family for screwing you up, right? There's no way to raise kids and not screw them up. So just know that. There's no one way to do it. There's no perfect answer. There is no way to be a part of a family and not be screwed up. It's just how it goes. The negative aspect of this is you are shifting the control to outside things, and in turn, it causes you to feel very out of control of yourself and your life. And guess what this lack of control causes, my friends? You guessed it, anxiety. And if there's one thing I really want you to get from listening to me, it's that I want you to know how much power you have. I don't want you to feel powerless in your life and your circumstances, right? You are powerless with alcohol. You are not powerless in your life. I can't control alcohol once I start drinking it. That's where powerless comes in. It's only if I have one drink, I'm screwed. But if I don't have that drink, I have a lot of power in my life. And I want you to see how much power you have to create the life you want. Your circumstances are not because of outside things. When you have an external locus of control, you have the attitude that everything happens to you. I can't believe this happened to me. I can't believe they did that to me. Like you are the victim of every circumstance. I can't believe they talked to me like that. Everything happens to you. Now, listen, there are definitely instances of victimhood. There are plenty of things that happened in my life that were against my will and that I had no control over. And those aren't the things I'm talking about. I'm talking about much smaller things that cause discomfort and discord in your life that are a result of your choices, that you want to blame on other people and things, but really it's just about your own choices. Playing the victim also allows you to not take responsibility for anything. If you can blame your job for not paying you enough, then you don't have to take responsibility for getting off your happy buns and figuring out a new job or figuring out a way to make additional income. If it's all someone else's fault, then you don't have to fix it, right? That's one of the little perks. Remember, all of our negative behaviors or personality traits or whatever you want to call them, in AA, we call it character defects, right? Ego, selfishness, greed, all of those things are character defects. But we don't take any action over and over again if there's not some reward from it, right? So this is one of the rewards of playing the victim role. It just allows you to really avoid responsibility. If nothing's your fault, then you don't have to do anything. Another perk of playing the victim role is that it can get you a lot of attention and compassion from other people. People will give you extra attention and feel sorry for you and your terrible situation. And you get to feel interesting and compelling because you get to share all of your trials and tribulations with your friends and get their reactions and get showered with all of this attention and empathy. And it feeds the little drama queen that lives inside most addicted people. Playing the victim actually gives you a false sense of power because there's a power to avoid responsibility, the power to feel self-righteous in all the persecution that's happening to you, and it gives an enormous power to manipulate other people. Another important piece to remember here, most people aren't doing this intentionally. This is a learned behavior that we pick up along the way growing up. It's a subconscious mindset that sets in over time. Maybe you have a parent that did the same thing or a close family member, whatever. This is not stuff we're born with, right? These are learned behaviors. Like most other character defects, they're learned behaviors. You're not born with them. I embraced the victim role for years and never even knew I was doing it. Now, when I look back, I can see it plain as day. But when I was immature and emotionally stunted, I didn't understand that this was a huge issue. I had no idea I had this like crippling way of thinking, this poor me, feel sorry for me. I'm so unlucky. My life is so hard. Like I wasn't consciously doing that. It's just clear to me now when I look back because now I'm a much more emotionally mature person and I have a lot more self-awareness. So I can see myself more clearly for who and what I actually am, good and bad. And let's get something straight too. Life is hard for everyone. It is the nature of life to be hard and challenging, and it will always push you beyond your limits because that's what it does to all of us. So Nobody is victimized by life, for sure. And I'll tell you, I had some pretty crappy circumstances in my life. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I definitely had things to overcome. It is just the nature of life to be challenging and difficult. That's just how it goes. I think we could all do ourselves a great service by just understanding life is going to be hard and stop having an expectation that it's going to be simple. There are times when things are just going to fall into place and certain things are going to be very easy. Those times are short-lived and they don't happen often. So really take a moment and have some gratitude when you have one of those moments. When you're in a situation and it goes really well and it works out smoothly, have some gratitude for those moments because they're few and far between. So let's talk about the other side of this, the internal locus of control, the creator mentality instead of the victim mentality. Creator meaning creating the life you want. An internal locus of control means you place responsibility for your successes and your failures on yourself and your decisions. All of your circumstances are a result of your decisions, and this shifts the control to you instead of outside things. And guess what happens when you feel like you have power in your life and you have control over the outcomes in your life? You start to trust yourself and believe in yourself. And anxiety hates that. Anxiety cannot thrive if you are feeling good about yourself and you're not all torn up and freaking out about the future and what might happen, right? Anxiety stems from fear. It's a loss of control and a fear of the unknown. So when you're feeling good about yourself, and you know that the circumstances of your life are because of you, and you know you have some control in that, and you can start making better decisions, and you can start looking at things bigger picture, so your micro decisions are better and leading toward your bigger picture, then you also don't get so caught up when things go bad, right? Like for me, I don't even like to say things are good or bad. I just say everything's necessary. So if something doesn't go the way I want it to, I'm not upset going, oh my God, this terrible thing happened. No, I'm like, okay, that wasn't the next right thing for me. So now I got to look for what is the next right thing. I just wasn't on the right path. That's why it didn't work out. It's not terrible. I'm not a victim. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes it's really freaking hard, but that's okay too because I can figure it out. I will figure it out. So let's take a minute and break this down a little further. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing life is the culprit for all your problems. You feel like you don't have any control over anything. You don't know what's going to happen next. You feel like your successes are a matter of luck, not due to your own diligence and work. And when you feel out of control, your anxiety thrives. When you have an internal locus of control, instead of looking for something to blame or someone to blame, you get introspective. You look inside at your decisions, your actions, your thoughts. You take responsibility for your own actions and inaction, by the way, and you recognize that your life circumstances are a direct result of your choices. And remember, I talked about this I did an episode about habit, or in an episode I talked about habits and the power of habit. And that's why I really wanted to point out your actions or your inaction, because not doing something, inaction, is just as much a habit as action, right? So if there's a day that I'm saying I'm going to do a certain thing, whatever it may be, and I don't do it, that's a habit. And it can be changed. So remember that too. Your actions and inaction are habits. So you can change those things. It takes time, it takes practice, but you can totally do it. So you recognize that your life circumstances are a direct result of your choices. When I had a job where I wasn't making enough money, I didn't blame it on the job or blame it on my customers for not tipping me enough, right? I got off my ass and I went out and I found a new job. And when I was looking for a new job, I took temporary bartending gigs at random places to make extra money. I would pick up a night here and there at whatever place would give me a night here and there. And that's kind of hard to do. That's not an easy thing, but I just started calling people. I knew people that were club promoters, and I would call and be like, listen, I need some extra work. Are you promoting any clubs that need a fill-in or something? Like, I got off my butt and I took responsibility for my situation and I fixed it. Or once I had another job, I would pick up extra shifts to make more money because I am my responsibility. It's not my job's responsibility to take care of me and pay me what I feel I need in my life. It's my responsibility to make what I feel I need in my life. And I think for people that have regular jobs, like, you know what you're going to get paid before you even get hired. So if you know it's not enough, then you know it's not enough. You know you have to supplement your income, then it's your responsibility to do that and make it happen. Another example in personal life. When I got in a fight with my boyfriend, I didn't immediately try to figure out how it was all his fault. I sat down and looked at myself and my own behavior, and I figured out how I could be better or how I could have handled the situation better. Nothing is solely the other person's fault. Now, take that a step further. Your only responsibility is to do your best. You cannot control how someone else reacts to you, right? Just because I do a good job communicating and I stay calm in the moment doesn't mean my partner is going to do the same thing. It doesn't mean my partner is going to agree with me or change his behavior. But that's not for me to worry about. I'm only in charge of myself. Let other people be in charge of themselves. Right? So I just have to look at me and what I'm doing. Am I trying my best? Am I doing the best job I could be doing? Or what could I do differently? Also, like in that fight or argument example, this isn't about saying, sometimes I absolutely agree with the point I was making or what I was saying, but my delivery can suck. You know what I mean? Like, if I raised my voice, which I don't like to do, and I don't very often, that's not my thing. When I start to lose my temper in a situation like that, I can get condescending more than anything, right? And minimizing, which is also condescending. It's not intentional. It's more just that I'm getting tired. I'm tired of the argument, or it doesn't make sense to me, right? So where I try to be better is saying, you know what, I need a break. Like, let's scratch this for 30 minutes, take a break. You go your way, I'll go mine, and then come back in a better frame of mind. Because the truth is, I don't want to hurt somebody. I don't want to hurt somebody I love, for sure, right? Like, I don't want to be insulting or minimizing to somebody I love. That's super immature. And that's definitely not who I am. And it's not who I want to be as I continue to grow up too. So coming back around and saying, you know what, I'm really sorry for how I handled that. It's not saying I'm sorry for what I said or I didn't mean what I said. It's saying I really could have handled that better. My delivery could have been better. I was getting frustrated. I apologize. I could have done better. That's all. I love apologizing. We're going to probably do a whole episode on amends at some point. I love amends. It's so good and powerful, and it makes people feel good. So that's external locus of control and internal locus of control. And I'd love to know if you recognize some of these things in yourself. And for those of you that have been sober a while, like, how have you seen this shift for yourself? That'd be a great conversation too. And if you want to have more conversation with me, and of course, in our Facebook group is the best place to do that. And with our members, right? Our Facebook group is so good. I cannot tell you guys how amazing it is and how supportive it is. And don't forget too, group coaching every Monday night. You guys can sign up for group coaching, or if you want individual coaching and mentoring, you can find that on the website at addictionunlimited.com/coaching. And I will put all of those links in the show notes also, so you can click on them right from your podcast app, wherever you're listening. Again, addictionunlimited.com/coaching. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you next week.
You've reached the end of another great episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. Candid and honest conversation about addiction and recovery. Be sure to visit us at addictionunlimited.com to join the conversation and access show notes and links to everything we talked about. Love this episode? Please take 30 seconds to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes to help us improve and give you the information you want. Thanks for listening. See you next week.